She started crying before the regression even began, just looking at the old map on the table. Her finger traced a spot that showed nothing but empty land. That's where my house was. I can see it, the blue door, the stone well, but it's gone. Everything is gone. She had been nervous walking into the session, clutching a folder of papers and old photographs she had printed from historical archives. She had been researching for months, obsessively, trying to find proof of something she couldn't explain, something she shouldn't know, something that had been haunting her since she was a child. When she finally settled into the chair and closed her eyes, the shift was immediate. Her face changed. The modern tension melted away. Her shoulders relaxed, her breathing slowed, and when she spoke, her voice had an accent, subtle but unmistakable, an accent from a place that no longer existed, from a time that had passed. "I can smell it," she whispered. "Bread baking, wood smoke, wet earth after rain, and lavender. There was always lavender growing by the front door. My mother planted it. She said it kept bad spirits away and brought good dreams." Her hands moved to her lap, palms up, like she was holding something. "I'm holding a basket wicker heavy, full of vegetables from the garden, potatoes, carrots, onions. I'm bringing them inside for dinner." The guide spoke softly. "Where are you? What do you see around you?" She didn't hesitate. The answer came immediately, like she had been waiting her whole life to say it. "I'm in the village, my village, the one I've been trying to find, the one everyone says never existed, but it did. I know it did. I lived there. I walked these streets. I knew these people." Her breathing quickened slightly. "The houses are close together, stone walls, thatched roofs, small windows. The streets are narrow, unpaved, just dirt that turns to mud when it rains. And there's a church, small church with a wooden bell tower. I can hear the bell ringing now, calling people to evening prayers." A crease formed between her eyebrows. "But something is wrong, something in the air. The adults are worried, talking in hushed voices, looking toward the mountains. I don't understand why yet. I'm too young to understand, but I can feel their fear. It's in the way they hold us children closer, the way they stop talking when we come near, the way they look at each other with eyes full of terrible knowing." Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. "Something is coming, something bad, and we all know it. Even the children know it. We just don't know what. We just don't know when." The guide's voice was gentle as falling snow. "Tell me about this village, about your life there. Start from the beginning." She took a deep breath, and the memories began to flow, not like someone trying to remember, like someone who never forgot. "My name is Anna, just Anna. We don't use last names much in the village. Everyone knows everyone. We're maybe 200 people total, 300 if you count the outlying farms. Small, so small, tucked away in a valley, high in the mountains, hard to reach. That's why we stayed safe for so long. That's why we thought we'd always be safe." Her voice held the cadence of a different time. "I'm 12 years old, almost 13, old enough to help with the real work but still young enough to play. I have 2 younger brothers, Tomas and little Joseph, and my parents, Mama and Papa. We live in a house made of stone, just 2 rooms, one for sleeping, one for everything else. But it's enough. It's home. It's all I've ever known." She smiled softly. "The village is beautiful in the spring. That's when I'm remembering right now. Late spring, May maybe. The meadows around the village are full of wildflowers, yellow and purple and white. And the mountains beyond are still topped with snow, cold at night, warm during the day. Perfect. Everything is perfect." Her breathing steadied into a peaceful rhythm. "My days start early, before the sun. I help Mama with breakfast, porridge usually, sometimes bread if we have it, sometimes eggs if the chickens are laying. Then I take the goats out to graze. That's my job. Has been since I was 7. I walk them up the mountain path to the high meadow, sit there all day, watch them eat, make sure they don't wander. Come back before dark." She paused, settling deeper into the memory. "I love those days in the meadow, the quiet, the space, just me and the goats and the mountains and the sky. Sometimes I see eagles, big golden eagles soaring on the wind. Sometimes I see deer, shy, careful, watching me from the tree line. And sometimes I see nothing but clouds and grass and endless blue." Her voice grew warmer. "There's another girl who tends goats. Her name is Katya. She's my best friend. Has been since we were small enough to toddle. Her family's meadow is next to mine. So we spend the days together, talking, laughing, making up stories, practicing the songs we learn in church, planning the future, imagining what it will be like when we regrown and married and have houses of our own. A deeper smile crossed her face. There's a boy too. His name is Mikkel. He's 15, almost a man. He works in the fields with his father, but sometimes he comes up to the meadows, brings us water, brings us news from the village, brings me wildflowers that he pretends he just found, but I know he picked them special, and I blush. And Katya teases me, and everything is sweet and innocent and perfect. Her expression shifted slightly. But that spring, things start to change. The adults become more serious, more worried. They have meetings, secret meetings. In the church after the children go to bed, I hear Papa and Mama talking late at night, whispered conversations I'm not supposed to hear. Words like army and coming and nowhere to go and too late. Her voice grew tense. And then the old man arrives, a traveler, from the lowlands. He comes to the village bloody and exhausted. Says he walked for 3 days to warn us. Says there's an army moving through the mountains, destroying villages, killing people, taking everything, and they're coming this way, coming to us. Maybe a week away, maybe less. She swallowed hard. The village erupts in fear. Some people want to run, pack up and flee into the deeper mountains, hope the soldiers don't follow. But others say there's nowhere to run. The mountains are too high, too cold. We'd die of exposure. And we can't take the livestock, can't take our food stores, can't survive without them. So we stay, and we pray. And we hope maybe the traveler was wrong. Maybe the soldiers will go a different way. Maybe we'll be spared. Her breathing became shallower. The men start preparing, making weapons out of farm tools, sharpening scythes, turning pitchforks into spears. The women start hiding things, burying valuables, hiding food. The priest starts saying special masses, praying for protection, praying for a miracle. And we children, we don't understand. We know something bad is happening, but we don't know what. We just know the adults are scared. And when adults are scared, children are terrified. She paused, emotion building. I still take the goats to the meadow. Life continues because it has to. But now Katya and I don't tell stories. We sit in silence, watching the horizon, listening, waiting, wondering if today is the day, if today is when they come. Her voice dropped. And Mikkel still comes. But now he doesn't bring flowers. He brings warnings, tells us to stay alert, tells us if we see anything, anyone, we run. We don't wait, we don't try to save the goats. We just run, back to the village, fast as we can. And he's not playing anymore. He's not the boy who used to make me blush. He's becoming a man, a serious man, a scared man. She took several deep breaths. A week passes, 2 weeks, nothing happens. Some people start to relax, start to think maybe we're safe, maybe the soldiers went another direction, maybe the danger has passed. But the old people, the ones who've seen wars before, they shake their heads. They know. They've always known. It's not if, it's when. Her whole body tensed. And then one morning, I'm in the meadow with the goats. Early morning, the sun just rising, everything golden and beautiful and still. And I hear it, in the distance, a sound that doesn't belong. Metal, lots of metal, clanking, moving, coming closer. Her voice rose with panic. I stand up, look toward the sound, and I see them, coming up the valley. Men on horses, men on foot, armor, weapons, flags, an army, bigger than anything I could have imagined. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands, filling the valley, moving toward the village like a dark flood. Tears began to form. I run, leave the goats, leave everything, run down the mountain as fast as I've ever run in my life, screaming, screaming to warn them, screaming that they're coming. The soldiers are coming. Right now, right now. Her breathing became ragged. I reach the village. People are already moving. Someone else saw them too. From the other side, everyone is panicking, running, grabbing children, grabbing food, trying to decide, do we run? Do we hide? Do we fight? Do we surrender? There's no time to think, no time to plan. They're almost here. She sobbed. Mama grabs me, grabs my brothers, tells us to run to the church. Everyone is running to the church. The priest is there, ringing the bell, calling everyone, and we crowd inside, all of us, the entire village, pressed together, praying, crying, holding each other, waiting. Her voice shook. We hear them arrive. Hear the horses, The shouting, the sounds of doors being kicked in, houses being searched, things being broken, stolen, destroyed, and we're in the church, all of us, hoping maybe they'll respect the church, maybe they'll leave us alone if we're in God's house. Maybe we'll be safe. She went very quiet, very still. But we're not safe. Nothing is safe. They come to the church, pound on the doors, demand we open, demand we come out, and the priest, he refuses. He stands at the door, says, "This is God's house. These are God's people. You cannot harm them here." Her voice dropped to a whisper. They break down the door anyway, pour inside, men in armor with swords and spears and faces that show no mercy, no humanity, just cold purpose. And they start pulling people out, separating men from women, children from parents, and we're screaming, fighting, begging, but it doesn't matter. Nothing matters to them. We're not people, we're obstacles, problems to be dealt with. Tears flowed freely. I'm holding Mama's hand, holding tight, never letting go. But a soldier grabs me, rips me away, throws me with the other girls, the young girls, and I see Mama trying to reach me, see her fighting, see a soldier hit her, see her fall, and I scream, scream for her, scream for Papa, scream for anyone to help, but no one can help. No one can do anything. Her entire body trembled. They take the men outside, all of them, Papa, the other fathers, the grandfathers, the boys, Mikkel. They take them outside and we hear it. We hear what happens. And the sounds, the terrible sounds, they tell us everything. Tell us there's no mercy, no escape, no hope. She could barely speak through the sobs. And then it's the women's turn. Mama, the mothers, the grandmothers, one by one, dragged out, and the sounds, always the sounds of violence, of death, of a village being erased from existence, of lives being snuffed out like candles. Quick, efficient, brutal. Her voice became hollow. And the children, they save us for last. Maybe they're tired, maybe they're just cruel. They make us watch, make us hear, make us understand what's happening, what's going to happen to us. And we're too young to really comprehend, too shocked, too broken. We just huddled together, holding each other, waiting for it to end. She went silent for a long moment. I don't remember the moment, the actual moment. Maybe I blocked it out. Maybe my mind protected me from that final memory. Or maybe it was too fast, too sudden. One moment I'm holding Katya's hand. The next, there's nothing. Just darkness. Just the end. She opened her eyes suddenly, tears streaming, but she was still half in the memory. Her voice was thick with emotion that had been trapped for lifetimes, and I carried it. I carried all of it. The terror, the helplessness, the watching everyone I loved die, the dying myself so young, so suddenly, so violently. I carried it through death, through whatever comes after, and into this life, into now, into the life I'm living right now. Her voice broke completely. That's why I've been searching. That's why I can't let it go. That's why I've spent years researching, looking at old maps, reading historical records, trying to find proof, trying to find evidence that the village existed, that Anna existed, that it wasn't just a nightmare, that it was real, that they were real, that I was real. She pressed her hands to her chest, and that's why I'm so afraid all the time, why I panic when I hear loud noises, why I can't handle crowds, why I feel unsafe even in my own home, why I check the locks 5 times before bed, why I need to know where all the exits are, why I'm always scanning, always watching, always waiting for the danger to come. It's not anxiety, it's not paranoia, it's memory, cellular memory, soul memory. My body remembers being trapped, being helpless, being unable to escape. Tears poured down her face. And that's why I can't commit to relationships, why I push people away, why I won't let myself love too deeply, because I remember loving Mama and Papa, loving my brothers, loving Katya, and I remember losing them all in one day, in 1 hour, in one terrible moment. And some part of me believes if I love someone again, I'll lose them again. If I get too close, they'll be ripped away. So I stay alone, stay distant, stay safe. Her voice rose with anguish and the guilt. Oh God, the guilt. The survivor's guilt that makes no sense in this life. Why do I feel guilty for surviving? I didn't survive. Anna didn't survive. But this part of me, this soul part, it feels like I abandoned them, like I should have done more, fought harder, saved them somehow, even though I was 12 years old, even though there was nothing I could have done. The guilt doesn't care about logic. It just sits there, heavy, constant, crushing. She sobbed freely. And now I know. Now I understand. The village was real. Anna was real. It all happened. Probably in the 1600s, maybe early 1700s, during one of the many wars, one of the many times armies moved through mountains, destroying everything in their path. Just another forgotten village, another group of people erased from history. No records, no graves, no memory, just gone, like we never existed. Her hands trembled. But I remember the blue door, the stone well, the lavender by the entrance, the goats in the meadow, Katya's laugh, Mikkel's shy smile, Mama's hands, Papa's voice, the bell in the church tower, the way the mountains looked at sunset, every detail, every moment, every person. I carry all of it, have carried it for 300 years, through lifetimes, through bobbies, through the forgetting that's supposed to happen. I remember, she looked directly at the guide, and the crazy part, 2 months ago, I found it. I found historical records, a footnote in an old book about regional history. It mentioned a village, in that valley, in that location, that was destroyed in 1683, by a passing army. No survivors, no witnesses, just gone. And the name of the village was exactly what I'd been saying. The name I shouldn't know. The name no one uses anymore. The name that's been dead for 300 years. Her voice filled with a mixture of validation and grief. So, I'm not crazy. I'm not making it up. I'm not imagining it. I was there. I lived there. I died there. And I've been carrying that death, that trauma, that loss, ever since. And now I have to figure out what to do with it, how to heal it, how to let it go, how to honor what happened without letting it control my present life. The guide spoke with deep compassion. Take some deep breaths. You've done incredibly brave work today. Begin to bring your awareness back to this room, this time, this body. Anna's story is important. Anna's pain is valid. But you are not Anna. You are the continuation, the evolution, the one who survived by being reborn. You are safe now. You are here now. You are alive now. She breathed deeply, slowly, each breath seeming to release a little more of the weight. Her face gradually relaxed. The ancient grief began to lift. She wiped her eyes and opened them fully, looking around the room like she was seeing it for the first time. I'm back, she said softly. And I feel different, lighter somehow. The guide waited. What's different? She looked at her hands. Modern hands, safe hands. I understand now why I've been the way I've been. It's not a character flaw. It's not weakness. It's not being broken. It's carrying unresolved trauma from another lifetime. And just knowing that, just understanding where it comes from, it already helps. It gives me compassion for myself, for why I struggle with things other people find easy. Her voice grew stronger. And I understand why I needed to find proof, why I couldn't just accept it as a dream or imagination, because Anna's village being forgotten, being erased, it was a second death, a death of memory. And I couldn't let that happen. I needed someone to remember, someone to say they existed. They mattered, they were real, and I'm that someone. I'm the memory keeper, the witness, the one who won't let them disappear completely. She sat up straighter. But I also understand that I need to let go, not forget, never forget, but stop living in that moment, stop letting that day define every day. Anna died, that's true. But I didn't, this body didn't, this life didn't. I survived by being born again, by getting another chance, by being given a new life. And I owe it to Anna, to all of them, to actually live this life, not just survive it in fear. The guide nodded. How will you heal this? How will you move forward? She took a deep breath. First, I'm going to honor them. I'm going to create something, maybe write their story, maybe create a memorial, something that says they existed, that they mattered, that they weren't just forgotten victims. They were people, with names, with lives, with love. And they deserve to be remembered. Her eyes brightened with tears, but different tears now. And I'm going to forgive myself. Forgive that 12-year-old girl who couldn't save anyone, who couldn't fight an army, who couldn't change what happened. She did nothing wrong. She was a child, an innocent child who experienced something no child should experience. And I need to stop punishing her. Stop punishing myself. Stop living like I'm still in danger, like the soldiers are still coming. Her voice grew more determined. And I'm going to work on being present, really present, in this life, in this time, in this body, because I've been living half in the past, half in that village, half in that terra, and it's kept me from being fully here, fully alive, fully engaged with the people who love me now, and they deserve better. I deserve better. She paused, thoughtful. And I'm going to seek help, real help, a therapist who understands trauma, who understands past life work. Because knowing where the trauma comes from doesn't automatically heal it. The neural pathways are still there. The triggers are still there. The patterns are still there. I need to do the work, the real work, of retraining my nervous system, teaching my body it's safe now, teaching my mind that this life is not that life. The guide smiled gently. What about relationships? You mentioned pushing people away. Her face softened. That's the hardest part, because the fear is so deep. The fear that if I love, I'll lose. But I see now that I've already lost by not loving. I've kept myself safe by keeping myself alone. And that's not really living. That's just existing. Aina loved. Even though she lost everyone, she loved deeply while she could. And maybe that's the lesson. Not to avoid love, to avoid loss, but to love fully while we can. Because loss is inevitable. Everyone dies eventually. But love, real love, it transcends death. It carries forward, like my love for Mama and Katya and Mikhail has carried forward. They're gone, but the love remains. She took a shaky breath. So I'm going to try to open my heart, try to let people in, try to build the connections I've been avoiding. And yes, I'll be scared. Yes, I'll want to run. But I'll remember that this is a different life, a different time, a different chance. And I'm going to take it. Her voice grew warm. And you know what? I think Mama would want that, would want me to live fully, would want me to love, would want me to be happy, not to spend my life in mourning for a life that ended 300 years ago. She loved me. She wanted the best for me. And the best for me is to heal, to grow, to thrive, to honor what was by embracing what is. The guide leaned back. Is there anything else you need to say or understand? She was quiet for a moment, then smiled through tears. Just that I'm grateful. Grateful to Anna for being so brave, for living through what she lived through, for somehow carrying the memory forward. Grateful to the village for existing, for being real, for not being just in my imagination. Grateful to this process for letting me remember, for letting me understand, for giving me the tools to finally heal. She stood slowly, finding her balance. I came here broken by a past I didn't understand. I'm leaving whole because now I do. The village is gone. The people are gone, but their memory lives in me, and I will honor that memory by living, really living. This is for them. This is for Anna. This is for all of us who survived by being reborn. She looked ahead with clear, peaceful eyes. Her voice was steady and filled with quiet strength. If you're listening to this and you feel an ache in your chest, if you've been searching for a place you've never been to in this life, if you have fears that don't match your experiences, if you carry grief that has no clear source, you might be remembering too. Remembering a life that ended too soon. A place that no longer exists. People who are long gone. And it's not your imagination. It's not mental illness. It's not weakness. It's memory, soul memory, and it's valid. It's real. It matters. You're not broken for carrying it. You're strong for surviving it, for coming back, for trying again, for getting another chance at life and taking it. Whatever you lost, whoever you were, however it ended, you honored them by returning, by living, by refusing to let that tragedy be the end of your story. They live on in you, in your memories, in your capacity to love despite loss, in your courage to keep going despite carrying pain you don't consciously understand. You are the proof that love is stronger than death. That memory transcends time. That we are all more than these single lives we're living. She paused, her face luminous with peace and purpose. The village may be gone, but we remember. Subscribe to hear more stories of lives that echo through time.